Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Stylish Hidden Treasures. Today is a quick tutorial video on how to restore those dirty sneakers. Also, how to restore sneakers that have smoky and kind of a mildew smell. Oftentimes we'll pass up these items at the bins and we figure there's no money really in reselling these items, especially if there's a smoky smell. Well, sometimes we just have sneakers of our own and they get scuffed up and dirty over time and we consider donating them. How about restoring them and keeping them? So that's what this video is all about, some neat tips and tricks on how to restore these. Now, just a little backstory. I was at my storage unit where I keep all my inventory and someone simply left these behind. I mean, they're kind of gross, they're kind of smoky smelling. I mean, some people would just simply throw them away. Well, I decided I'm going to restore these sneakers and possibly make a profit. I looked online and saw even used ones go for approximately $40 of these Air Force Ones. So I decided to take them home, but I was a little worried as I got closer into looking at the condition of the shoes. They're kind of dirty, they're kind of grimy, they're kind of scuffy. I mean, is it really worth my time to possibly flip these? Well, the more I looked at them, I realized, hey, I've kind of done this in the past in restoring with vintage leather and suede goods. So I figured, why not try? And guess what, guys? It actually works. So as you can see in some of these pictures, I mean, it's just gross, right? There's gum on the bottom. There's just all kind of filth. And I decided to grab my handy kitchen supplies and see what I can do to try to fix these shoes. And as you can see, these are basic, simple things that you have in your kitchen or underneath your sink or even in your laundry room that you can find that's probably not going to cost you any money, but will make a world of a difference when it comes to restoring these sneakers. So the first thing I would advise you to do is to grab you some gloves. Now this can be just some simple vinyl gloves at your Walmart or somewhere like that, or some household gloves. Something to protect your hands, because after all, these sneakers are gross, right? Next, get you some warm water in some type of pail or bucket. And I tell you, putting warm water, mixing it with a little bit of bleach. In this case, I just put a couple capfuls of bleach, and then the OxyClean makes a world of a difference. So on this particular video, I just used about the first line of the OxyClean scooper. You can always add more, but as you know, OxyClean is a little bit expensive sometimes, so I just used about the first line and it was more than enough. Go ahead and take your finger or a spoon or something and kind of stir it around real good and make sure everything is not settling at the bottom and that it's mixed really well. Next, I would advise you to get some type of, I don't know, scrubbing material of some sort. I mean, you can use dryer sheets, you can use a magic eraser, you can use a utility brush if you want. Just something to start to get the dirt and grime out. As you can see, I used a magic eraser and it worked wonders. I use a Walmart version. It's super cheap and it works really well. Then when you start scrubbing, you want to make sure you get in all the creases. You want to maybe take your laces out and soak them in bleach. In this case, I just left them in. I made sure I got the emblems, the embroidery, anything and everything. And yes, you cringe a little bit because you're dealing with dirty shoes, right? Make sure you scrub the inside. And sometimes I use the dryer sheets because it also helps freshen it as you're cleaning and scrubbing. Then you move to the bottom. I know, kind of gross, right guys? But I use toothpicks because I like something I can dispose and throw away afterward, and it gets into all the little bitty nooks and crannies of a shoe. Don't forget to clean around the shoelace areas, the holes. I mean, soldier through this, guys. I mean, you're going to love it when the results are done. So I took a pretty good amount of time getting out all the grime, soaking it in the water, scrubbing more. But I only spent maybe 10 minutes at the very most doing this. Then I got rid of my soapy solution and put some warm water in. At that time, You know, I was making a bit of a mess, so I went ahead and cleaned up my bag. I usually use like a kitchen garbage bag to do this because I like to be able to scoop away all my trash and then start over with a fresh if I need to. Then I used a stain remover like Zout. You can use pretty much any type that you want to try to get away some of the additional stains. I don't know if this stain is going to come out, but I can definitely make it look a lot better. So I used my dryer sheet and started scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, and guys, it was already starting to make a difference. It was a miracle. Then at this point I said, okay, I like the way my shoes look, but they still smell like smoke. So let's use the same technique I do with my vintage items. So I sprayed the shoes down with vinegar, and then I got a couple different types of socks, and you guys can use a stocking or a gym sock, really any type of sock, but just make sure you can put your hand through it and kind of see your hand, because once we put the baking soda in there, we want them to start to work out the smell of our shoes. So if it's too thick of a sock, it's going to have a harder time working. So fill both socks up with baking soda, put it inside the shoes, okay? And then at that point, we're going to get a shopping bag, put our clean shoes into the bag, tie it up really good, and then here's where the magic happens, guys. What do you think you do with it to get the smoke smell out? You put it in the deep freezer. Put it in the deep freezer, close it up. 3 days later, you pull it out of the deep freezer or your freezer, and it kills the spores of the mold or mildew or smoke smells. It is a miracle worker. Something about the cold, frigid temperature, those smells do not like to live in it. So as you can see, look how bright and clean these shoes look. It's like a miracle, guys. I mean, they smell great. They look good. No, they're not perfect, but they look 100 times better than they did before they went in and before we even started. Here's the final result. This is definitely worth flipping on eBay or Poshmark at this time. Believe it or not, even my daughter wants these shoes now, so maybe I won't even sell them at all. But this is a great tip on how to restore sneakers that are scuffy and dirty. And I mean, guys, look at the bottoms. They practically look brand new. So if you have any more ideas on how to clean these items, please comment below. But these tricks and tips have worked great for me over the years. You can also use the same similar process anytime you have a leather bag that smells old or mildewy or has some, smoky smells. Things like this will definitely make your reselling business easier. See you later. Bye.